Hey moms and dads, are you excited to have your children going back to school? I'm a little sad. I think they're ready though. So I have some tips for us to make the mornings and just getting them out the door much easier. These are my fall time management tips. I do think that I have some wonderful tips that can help us make this process go smoothly, and not only will we have a more serene morning, but it will be more loving and more successful. So let's get right into it. My back to school 5 time management tips. My first recommendation starts the night before. Set your alarm clock 15 minutes early. Or maybe you need to trick yourself and set your clock a little bit ahead. But either way, this tip can really save you some time and energy in the morning because there's not a lot of pressure to hurry and make sure that you get out the door the second that you need to. If something happens like a spill, or a child forgets to do their homework, or we realize we needed to fill out some forms, or the inevitable, whatever, there's always something that comes up, right? You will have a little bit of built-in time to do this. And where I have found that this really is helpful is at the door before we're leaving. I either have a stressed out feeling like, come on, get those shoes on faster, we need to get going. Or I have the feeling that we have a little bit of time and we can do what needs to happen to get out the door on time. Those are 2 very different feelings, and my kids can tell that too. So that is a really helpful tip for us to get out the door in a more loving and kind way. Another tip I have to make those mornings go way more smoothly is to just have the few things that you need to pack up already packed up the night before. So we get our water bottles ready as often as we can the night before. We might stick them in the fridge so that they don't melt, but we have them prepared, so all my daughter has to do is grab them out of the fridge and put them in her backpack. She usually packs up her snack the night before and also puts her mask inside her bag so that it's ready to go in the morning. Packing these items really only takes a minute or 2, but it is so helpful to have this out of the way in the morning because inevitably, as we're walking out the door, we might remember that we forgot something, and to just know that it's already in the backpack and waiting and ready as we wake up in the morning allows us to not have to think of so many different things that we have to get ready that morning. Another school tip that I have found that really helps is the timing of homework. Especially, I think that this would be true in elementary school. Whenever my daughter is doing homework before supper, it goes so much more smoothly. But after supper, I think that is just kind of a meltdown period that it seems like she more often says, I don't get it, I'm so frustrated, I don't know how, I need help after supper. So I think that it's just important to come home and get on that homework before supper starts, because if you can get it out of the way, then you have the rest of the evening to look forward to. And I think they just have so much more success doing things on their own when they're not tired. So definitely encourage that homework to get done before supper starts. If I had to pick one time management tip that I have for you, it would be to create a list with your child ahead of school that they feel like they have a little bit of investment in because they helped create it. And the list will involve every single item that you want them to do on their own as they get ready in the mornings. I really wanted to create this list because I wanted my children to have somewhat of an independent attitude about getting ready in the morning, and I know that that can be a real struggle. A lot of times there are dozens of reminders in the morning about what to do next, and now I tend to say, go look at your list, what haven't you done yet? And that is so helpful for my peace of mind, for just having some patience, and for developing those skills that kids really need to have. I remember 5 years back when I created one of these with my older daughter. She was beginning to read, so we did not draw pictures. We used my scrapbooking stickers, and I helped her spell out every single word. That was really helpful for her to have that investment in this creation, and also it helped her to learn the spellings of those words. It really just depends on where your child is, if you need pictures or if words will do. This is the list that I created with my 4-year-old, so she will be doing these things in the morning when she gets ready for preschool. I wanted to make sure that she remembered to go to the bathroom, change her clothes, eat breakfast, brush her teeth, brush her hair, put on her coat and shoes, and grab her backpack. I knew also she would need some pictures to go along with this, so I looked up these words in clip art on the computer, and she pointed to the picture she wanted me to draw, and I drew them out. It is such a gorgeous fall day. I thought I would give my 5th time management tip for back to school outside. I know one place that I have really needed to have a little bit more organization to save time and energy is with all of the papers that come home from school. This is how I deal with them. When my daughter gets home from school, the first thing that she does is take her papers out of her backpack and put them on the landing so that I know exactly where to look for them and see what needs to stay and what I just needed to glance at and recycle right away. If there is anything I know I need to deal with that week, such as a field trip form, I will try to deal with that right away, but there are those times where I can't get to it right that minute. That is where my command center comes in very handy. I will explain that right now. I have a basket that has at least 2 slots in it. Mine has 4, but you need at least 2 for the system. I put any of those items that I need to do very soon in the front slot in the to-do section. And I keep this basket out on the table or counter where I can see it very easily until I get that job done. When I get that job done, I am able to slide that back into my cupboard and shut the door so I don't need to look at this basket anymore. The second section of the command center is a future reference section, and this is for those items that you may not need to deal with right now, you're not sure if you will need in the future, so you keep them there so that you know where to look for them later. My example here is a Scholastic Books form. Sometimes we order from them, sometimes we don't, but I like to hold on to them just in case there's something my daughter really, really wants. Periodically, I will go through this future reference bin a few times a year, and it's really amazing how the item that I kept because I didn't know if I needed it or not is now something I know for sure I don't need and I can recycle it. I would also like to mention that there are those things that come home from school that are just so special and you want to hold on to them. I also have a sentimental bin for each of my children that I put those items in, writing their name and the grade that they created them in on the back. In short, this command center is easily used for school papers that come home. If there is something I can't deal with right away, I make sure that I put it in the to-do section. And I don't put away the basket until that item is completed so that it is a reminder for me to make sure to complete that soon. If anything comes home that I don't know for sure if I will need, it goes in the future reference section. And I know exactly where to look for that. Within a minute, I will be able to find the thing that I'm looking for. What a time saver. And lastly, if there is a super special item that my child has created, it goes in their sentimental bin. Pretty easy system. Of course, it always helps if you can recycle as much as possible right when it comes in the door, and then just use this system for any of those extra papers. I truly hope that some of these time management tips can help you as you start your fall and your back to school schedule. This video is part of the Mega Motivation collaboration started by the Minimal Mom. There are so many wonderful YouTubers that are a part of this collaboration, and this month's topic was time management. So I hope that you will check out in the description below this wonderful playlist and get some more tips that can help you make the most of your time. If you would like to check out a little bit more from my channel, I have many videos about my journey towards minimalism and decluttering my home. I have chosen 52 spaces in my house that I am decluttering piece by piece this year. So check out my videos over here And if you would like to subscribe, I would love for you to join part of my journey and even be encouraged to declutter your own spaces. Just see the profile picture on the screen, click my picture, and hit subscribe. Thanks so much, everybody.